from my end. Okay, so very good evening to most of you, morning to at least one or two of you. Welcome to this conversation that we're going to be having between all of us and Krishna, actually. It's not going to be me and him and you guys are just, popping in and all that. It's going to be all of us speaking on this topic of fear, or rather abhayam, which is fearlessness, or fearless rather. And this topic I thought was very relevant for all of us because it is an experience that we have on a very, very, very regular basis. Within the day, we have it multiple times. The smallest things can set us off. For example, like, before this call, I was scared, like, will Zoom work for me or not? Right? I did not log into my account. I had to log into my dad's account because it wasn't working for me. So these small fears come out of nowhere and really hijack your day, so to say, right? So and also Ashish spoke about dealing with anxiety also. That's another thing that I thought is a very real experience that we have on a very, very everyday basis. So when I attended Krishna's retreat, self-to-self discovery retreat, I attended it twice so far. We spoke about a bunch of emotions, but fear was not one of the emotions that we discussed on in depth. When we spoke about fear, the main point that was brought up is that as long as you're not self-realized, you will experience fear and it is normal. And he spoke about something about when there is two, there will always be fear and all of this stuff he spoke about. So when he started speaking about, yoga for abhayam, sometime 2 weeks back, I thought, what? We spoke about so many emotions in the retreat, but we don't speak about this one. Let's talk about it and let's see where it goes because it's an experience that we have on a regular basis that definitely does hijack us. So I thought we'll do that in today's session. And I don't want the session to be one of those where it's going to be, like I said, me and Krishna are talking for 40 minutes and, you guys can ask questions at last 15, 20 minutes or so. We want it to be a lot more interactive. So anytime you guys have any questions to ask, you guys can raise your hand on the Zoom thing. Not physically, you won't be able to see. On the Zoom thing, you can raise your hand and ask the question then and there. If you're shy, you don't want to show your face or you don't want your voice to be heard, you can type it in chat and either I will read it out or Krishna will read it out and we'll definitely answer the question or get the question answered rather. So without further ado, Krishna, this fear concept is there. What actually is fear and why does it exist?
So let's first stay quiet for a minute, do our prayers, and see what happens after that. See, the idea is we will talk about certain things, and my request is you don't take anything personally. Okay. I'm not telling because I'm afraid what you will think of me. I'm not having that fear. But the more we take things personally, internalization will not happen. You'll only intellectualization will happen. And you used a word when we started, no? If you're shy to ask, you can type. Shyness is also a type of fear only. What will others think of me? So the high point is what Ramana says, where are others? Only we are there. So there is nothing to see what others are going to think of me. So if any of you are feeling, am I sitting in a very different place? What will people think of me? I am wearing an inappropriate dress. If there are any apprehensions other than technical issues which are preventing you from coming online, if you are not wearing a proper dress, wear a proper dress, you can come. Okay. If you are in a public place, still like how April is on, she's not driving, but she's there. The idea is, if there is a possibility, we should at least be facing Zoom. There itself, your management of fear starts. It is not somewhere outside a future situation is going to come. Right now, can I face? But some of you may have genuine issues. You can stay away, not a problem. I would like to start from there because whatever we are searching, the first step can be taken at that time. So that is how the word shy can be done. Second, each of us would have our own way of handling it. So we take the first principles and apply it in our own way. Okay. So certain things, what works for us may not be working for someone for the simple reason an incident which happened in the past is the source of our fear today when you see a bicycle approaching you. But for someone who had no bad experience with a bicycle, seeing a bicycle will not invoke fear in them. You are getting the point. So we are not going to talk about things, people, or situations which are going to invoke fear, which is a never-ending thing because how many number of people are there? That many combinations are there. Yeah. Grateful, Ashish, that you chose to attend despite your caregiving thing. It's very grateful. Okay. So this is the first thing. At any opportunity, is someone preventing me from doing something or I am limiting myself? For that only I took the Zoom example. Okay. That is why I told when you want to talk about a deeper topic, you should be able to understand you will be disturbed sometimes. It could be very simple. Correct? The moment you ask, why are they asking me? Who is he to ask? He just has to tell. In mind, you can think anything, no? Again, I am not going to be bothered, or anybody is not going to be bothered, particularly if they are in the tradition, because the agenda is not to win the popularity contest. Okay, so this is the first premise we are going to start with. Second, the problem of there are a lot of plus points in our modern day education and the way we live life. But the problem is it always tries to do a binary work. Here or there, yes or no, black or white. But life is not done in a binary way. Either you are fearless or you are fear. No way possible. All of us take it clear. We are moving towards fearlessness. In mathematics, we say tending to zero, tending to infinity. As Lakshan very rightly said at the start, only a realized master like Ramana can profess to be fearless. Others are like there's a famous dialogue in a Kamal Hassan's movie. I think it came in Telugu and Tamil. I know it's called Kurudi Punal. In that, Kamal Hassan is working in the anti-Naxalite squad. One of his trainees asked him, "How are you being courageous?" He says, "Courage is nothing but your dexterity in masking fear." Because if your child sees you are afraid, how in the world the child is going to derive the strength? So sometimes you appear to be strong because you are holding a system together. So this is why I generally make a bold statement. If you are afraid, you are letting your system down. That system again starts with you. Excessive fear hits your kidney. You are a system, right? So for your own health sake, you should deal with your fears in a gentle way. You don't need to confront things. For example, walking into the next room, you are afraid of darkness from childhood. It is okay. You don't need to immediately go to a therapist, pay some dollars or money to get it done. You have a mobile, it has a torch, right? Learn to deal with things which are upsetting you in a way which you can do. Switch on the light, have a two-way switch outside the room. Then later figure out why in childhood they made you a kind of trying to avoid. Is it possible to mute this notification sound?
Let me try.
Yeah, just try, otherwise it's okay. Okay, so this is when you clearly know there is something, don't need to panic, because remember, all these fears and this fearlessness you have in life has taken you to where you are. So nothing to go back and say they did something to me, so I am afraid today. They did something to you in the past. Is anybody doing to you anything right now? Nobody is doing anything to you right now. So you have to write down the beliefs or the situations. See, generally when you do an inner study, the topics will be different. But there are three things you have to remember. You want to be happy. You ask, which are all the type of people, if they are around me, I am happy. Which are all the situations can make me happy? Which are the things which can make me happy? Now, replace the word happiness with fear. I am afraid. On seeing what type of people I am afraid, what type of situations I am afraid, what things make me afraid. I am consciously using the word what type of people so that you don't stereotype, all fathers are like this, all friends are like this. No, what type of people? You got it, no? So you will elevate yourself from not attacking a personality. You are going to study the type. Then the second question to ask yourself is, what is that life wanting to tell me through this fear? Okay, so now coming back to a small framework which just occurred once is we have to accept. That is what I was telling you. You accept dark room is I am afraid. The moment someone talks about the concept of a relationship, it could be brother, sister, father, mother. I am afraid, or I'm afraid of a teacher. So find out the types and categories of people who are invoking fear in you. Accept that. Don't deny it. Moment you accept, you will know how to work over it. Second, what are the situations? I am in Bangalore. We don't measure time in Bangalore, we measure by kilometers. In 1 hour, I will reach there. It could be 2 kilometers, it could be 20 kilometers. So this situation, if you are going to have your livelihood in a particular town, that is the reality. Accept it. For example, there is a thing. Let us assume someone has just come out of a health condition and doctor says, you have to have palak, for example, or sweet potato every week. You don't like it, but your likes and dislikes are not going to help you as a system. You write, these things are annoying me, irritating me. Unless you get down to that level of diagnosis, you will never accept that, yes, these things are putting me off. So the first step to handle anything is acceptance. If you are in a denial mode, you are only programming yourself. Say alternate, let us say. Jokingly, we say, no, oh, if you have a wound, don't think of a monkey. You got it. Because the mind will meditate on what is the seed you are giving it. And you are trying to give a seed of denial and wanting to outgrow that situation. If I am speaking too much, please stop me. Is it okay? Am I able to communicate? Okay. So acceptance is the key. Second is understand with your present skill set, present knowledge, and present access to resources. One is skill sets you already have. Today, I call even pranayama and meditation as a skill set only. And second, you have knowledge. For example, during night I am not comfortable, but in the day I am okay. That knowledge about yourself should be there. Is it okay? So this is very important to understand the source, which is the understanding. The third is, I was telling you about the resources, skills, knowledge, and resources. Okay, I am having this problem. Suppose I am allergic to a particular food item. You, with your skill sets and your knowledge, you cannot do anything about it because you already have the knowledge that yam creates itching in you. Your meditation right now cannot solve the problem of yam is itching you. So what is the next category? Resources. Can I approach a homeopathic doctor? Or innately without yam you can live. You are getting the point, no? The understanding is with your present skill set and knowledge, plus the resource you have access to, can you deal with those accepted people, situation, and things which are destabilizing you? So your doctor may say, you are very good, your routine is good, just to try intermittent fasting for 48 days, then come back, let us have a discussion. So in that 12 hours, whatever you want to eat, you eat. So you don't need to deny yourself a very tasty food. Within the 12 hours, you understand what can you do, take that. That is called management. So once you have certain issues can be managed with your skill sets, certain issues can be managed with mere knowledge, certain things you need external resources to help you. Okay, so in all the olden traditions, it is clearly said, ask, thy shall be given, which was popularized in the biblical teachings. So unless you are having the courage to ask help, why you should be given help? At home, you want something, you say, you give me this, you don't give me this. No, you give me one more rasgulla more or don't give me cake now, you give it later. Unless you ask. So this is the simple framework. This framework can be used to deal with anything. You replace the word fear with courage, happiness, everything. What are the things I can have to accept? What are the things I have to understand? And what are the things I have to manage? So if you slightly extrapolate, so this is why we say in the tradition, first is Icha Shakti. Icha means you should be willing to work with yourself. You have to have a desire to overcome fear. If you are using fear as a tool to for self-pity, to garner attention, people's time, you are never going to solve it. Okay. So first is, Ashish, we need to frame it in a proper way and ask. That's it. And our asking should be able to help us as a system to stabilize. And the next immediate system is our family. The third system is your employer, employee, or business. These three systems are very important. Let us not right now worry about terrorists infiltrating some country, fundamentalists are throwing petrol bombs. You can't do anything about it. Don't waste time in chit-chatting and forwarding WhatsApp messages. You try to work in your circle of influence to manage this concept of fear. What can I do about it? Is it okay? So that desire to overcome that should be there. So you have to invoke Icha Shakti. Why we say Shakti? These are all energies available. They are waiting for us to ask, please help me to get right access. Help me to accept it. Then comes Jnana Shakti, which is understanding and the knowledge aspect of it. So you have to ask her, give me the Jnana or a template or a framework in modern day understanding or a formula, template, everything, that whatever I have understood, I wish to see how I can go ahead. Then having all the knowledge, having done all the research, if you don't implement for that Kriya Shakti, action. So in any task, the first thing, the top level bird's eye view is Om. I am telling you, it is not consciously developed like that. It just happened. Thanks to Lakshan, our coach, Srikant, Vijay Lakshmi, Lata, and April. December 24th, we were walking, we were having a walk around Tiruvannamalai Hill. Michael and Lydia, Linda are all very familiar with that. At that time, this conversation evolved and suddenly this thought process happened. So it is easy to remember. That's why I just made that as an acronym. And for those of you who have this bent of mind to go one more level to tap prana, energy, God, I gave you the next level is Icha. First, you should have the desire to overcome. No. The therapists, the coach, there is no point in them having the desire to help you. You should be having the desire to help yourself first. So develop the desire to outgrow and overcome these limitations and limiting beliefs. Then seek out for knowledge. And then whatever you have discovered about yourself and your fears, with the backing of the knowledge, ask the divine to give you the energy and the wherewithal to do, implement. There's no point in researching about it is going to be heavy rain. You ordered the best of the umbrella from Amazon, you kept at home. You don't even know how to open it and go in there. You don't know because the umbrella will go waste. Then why the hell did we buy the umbrella? If you are not able to put that into action. So this is the surface level thing, what I'm trying to tell you. Now let's go to the reality. So what is reality? In the Advaita Vedanta system, Vedanta means that knowledge which is considered as the knowledge which will free us from all limitations. Very simple way. For example, a very gross level, mundane example is, suppose there is a knowledge for you that you have a 3 crore in your bank account. Is it not going to make you feel free mentally in so many things? So the presence of something is helping you to become free, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you in the transactional plane. Okay. So in the real plane, what happens? Fear will be there as long as there is something else present other than you. The room is light, the next room is darkness. Presence of something other than light. Is it clear? Yes, Michael?
Yeah, sorry, could you just repeat that sentence that you said there? Just, yeah, like 2 sentences back. It was,
Anybody remembering what I said? Yes, Goldie.
Fear will be present if there is something else present other than you.
Yes. Then when that can vanish, only when we realize that idea of oneness, not knowing the idea of oneness is different. That is only knowledge. Realizing that everything is one. Till that stage, which is called complete being the level of a master, first we have to accept. Same Om, you bring it here. First accept fear is part of our life as breathing. Don't shove it under the carpet. For example, tomorrow one more pandemic comes. It is going to affect all of us. Suddenly now Zoom goes out. It's going to affect all of us. You got it, no? As long as we are in the plane, dual plane of existence where sunrise, sunset, pleasure, pain, the happiness, sadness is normal, fear is normal. First, embrace fear. When a child comes to you crying from school, what did you do? You first embrace the child. You don't ground the child by saying, what the hell, I am teaching you every time. Can't you remember this shloka? Can't you remember this? There is no intellectualization of the situation. You just calmly say, come, no problem. No, don't worry. What you show the hand, you say like this, I am there. This is called Abhaya Mudra. Don't worry, let me do it. Yes, April?
About what I've noticed is that the biggest fear is the fear of the fear. You know, when we fear that something horrible is going to come, and I see clients every time coming and saying that, I'm always scared. And they are worried and they fear the fear, and that becomes really major. I believe exactly what you're saying. So the more we accept that it's a normal emotion and it is going to happen every now and then, I think it becomes much easier than when we
Understood.
look at it in a way that it's a problem.
That's what. Just give me 3-4 minutes. I'll just say certain things. Maybe it may get resolved. Okay. So the presence of anything other than you will create fear. For example, you are there and your friend, both of you are talking. Very close friends, okay? Suddenly that person gets a call. That person says, excuse me, and he or she goes out, takes the call and comes back. What all possible thoughts which can go within us? You may think, did they speak about me? Or is there something they spoke which I should not know? They might have walked because signal is weak. We have no idea about it. So the mere presence of some other friend or a call, which is other than you, can create this much worry, fear, or concern. So what is the simple formula? Wherever there is a possibility of some more than one, it is going to create fear. So what in Advaita is Advaita means the one without a second. So what it tells is Dvitiyat eva bhayam bhavati. That means the source of fear is the presence of the second. So what this ultimate knowledge gives, as long as one person is realizing, first we have to accept that fear is part of life. It may come in various shades, like April said, worry, shyness, like fancy dress competition in school. The same fear would come in different types of emotion. Insecurity is another name for fear. Oh, what they are going to think of me is another fear. Will people understand me? So sometime back I asked you, right? Whatever I am speaking, is it making sense? It is a very wielded form of fear which is in me, which says people have respected the time and they are here. At least everyone should walk away with one point. It may appear it is not fearlessness, but there is a thought that people who have come should take away at least one thing. You want to call it worry, you want to call it concern, you want to call it fear. These are all, the wine is the same, bottle is different. The strength of the wine is different, but it is wine. The reason is, why are we talking? Because there is somebody present other than me. Then only I am talking. Otherwise, why should I talk? Moment I talk, I will have a fear of apprehension. Are they able to listen, understand? So this is why in every situation, you will feel the moment you are afraid, you have to ask, what is the possibilities are there? Success, failure. If somebody anyway knows they are going to be successful, will they ever be worrying? If somebody feels I'm anyway going to be failing, they will never even try, no. So as long as there is a probability and possibility, somebody is going to try. So this is the very, very important thing. Okay. Now what happens is, we can have intellectually knowledge by reading many Upanishads, books. They are not going to be of any use. Because first, we are in the transactional life. Technically, the study of Upanishads and the Vedanta books were taken when a person has less and less attachments in life. So they don't even need to worry when my next meal is going to come from, how is my bank account is increasing or not. Oh, I need to have 1 million followers in Instagram. That Swamiji is having 2 million followers. So as long as they are maybe wearing an ochre robe, they may be studying Vedanta, intellectually they would have understood, but not an iota of realization is there. So that is why we need to go back to process. What are the processes available? First is understanding has to be clear. Second, we should take up important aspect, which I would say, take the name of the Lord or mantra sadhana. If you are a Muslim, take up working with tasbih. If you are a Sikh, you have Japji is there. First, go back to your culture and tradition from where you came from and pick up one process. Because genetically you are tuned to that process. Why it is very important? All this knowledge we all have, but something is not allowing us to process this knowledge and turn it into wisdom. Because the mind is incessantly only thinking about a problem or the intellectual understanding. So what happens is, this process will create that space in the mind, like what it created maybe for Archimedes or the benzene ring was found. You should allow the relaxation of the mind. That is first. Second, the oft quoted, I would always say, you can't solve a problem from the same level from where it occurs. All these fears are being expressed to you in the words and the alphabets and the language which you already know. Like, when do you go to a doctor? When you are not able to resolve it using your self-medication, you go there. The doctor is external to you. Now, what is an internal doctor? Is a sadhana which is being done by us, whether we have job or not, whether we are afraid or not, whether we are on a vacation or on a job. So you need to first go back to a process which is consistent in your day-to-day life, like your breathing, brushing, having food. Without that, if you try to resolve it only by thinking, attending various talks by Swamijis, reading fantastic books, bestsellers, New York bestsellers, you will be actually more confused because it is not solving your problem. Because intellectually, everyone knows it is a projection and all that. But what can make that projection be as a projection and not reality? There is something you need to ground in that reality, no? So our drishti is towards the screen which is making that projection, not the movie which is playing out as a projection. So for that, first thing is you need to have a sadhana. Without that, how much ever you intellectualize, how much ever you try to study neuroscience, debate, nothing is going to work. And I'll tell you the corollary of it. In the tradition, such topics were never taken for speculation and never discussed with people who do not have a belief in anything. If someone has no belief in any system or a source, there's no point in intellectualization, because it is like a in IT for loop. If you're intellectually strong, debating skills are good, you can keep on talking, wasting your time and everybody's time. So these all come under Astika Darshana, meaning you should have some belief in something which is consistent. Whether you are alive or not, that system is there. After our death also, that system is there. You want to call it God, you want to call it consciousness, awareness, the name is up to you. But as long as there is a source, without that connect, you cannot resolve this existential problem. And when this problem is resolved, when this person understands they are non-different from that source itself. So without even having a source, who is going to give you the direction? You'll be shooting everywhere. This is why such discussions are never meant for intellectualization, debates, or for people who are atheists or agnostics. They can go and do their own things. These systems will work efficaciously only for someone who has at least belief in something. Is it clear? Otherwise, you'll only be speculating. If you're a good orator, you will win over others. By telling them, you can win over fear. But the same person will be thinking, did people accept me? Nobody clapped, nobody sent any message. Only in the surface level gymnastics will happen. So this is very, very clear. You need to have a framework for yourself and you decide what process you are going to do. So what happened in the tradition is they ensured the divine comes in certain forms. And those forms held objects which could dispel fear. Suppose someone is today Valentine's Day, no. What is the symbol? People will hold a rose and show. That rose invokes something in somebody. And now they have said this color of rose is friendship, this is that. But ultimately there is an object which is serving as a reminder of some concept. So the divine forms given in the tradition are exactly for this. Suppose someone is they need artha, which is wealth. They were asked, you please worship the divine in this form. She will have some gold coins. The color will be pinkish red. Why they said the color? That is rajas, a compassionate rajas. Without action, you cannot become wealthy. By thinking wealthy, what you will do? You'll become sick only. You need action. So what they said, they gave the color of white, pure knowledge for Saraswati, a pinkish red for Lakshmi, and dark red, which is action and all. See, this you have to think at various levels. Right from the attire to the gadgets they are holding in the hand, they are going to. So this is for people who have this kind of a belief system. So my idea to tell you is, by talking and intellectually understanding, you can never overcome fear. You need to have some tools and techniques. Like, for example, there are mudras which you can hold. So what these mudras will do, they will tap certain centers in your brain. They will work with your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system and minimize the damage which the fear can create on your body. That is also important. And you do certain postures to develop stamina, like warrior pose, Virabhadrasana. So the body, when there is fear inside in the software, it reflects on the body. And if the body is weak, it cannot take it. Like, for example, high voltage comes, what happens? The gadget goes for a fuse. Imagine your body is a gadget. So what do? You prepare the gadget with SMPS system and all that. So you have to have some form of physical activity. And that physical activity should be able to give you stability. Suppose a child is coming to push you, you first ground yourself steadily, even when you are playing, or the child will fall over you, right? So for that stability, am I doing something physical? So when a fear or an anxiety or stress comes, as I told, it will be revealed in the body as shivering, tension, sweat. Are you having the wherewithal to withstand in your body? So in the body level, you need to prepare. Second is the emotion, which is the life force. You need to practice at least one pranayama technique every day so that whenever we have these emotions, negative emotions, particularly fear, it takes 20 seconds to affect right from your heart to the nervous system. It takes only, you have maximum of 20 seconds to react. So what happens when you regularly do pranayama technique? Everyday accumulated unknown fears, the phobias, which are going to clog your subtle energy channels, which are the nadis, you are going to do daily housekeeping. So without your knowledge, you will have that stamina to hold. Otherwise, the breath will be short. Your response time to fear will be very less. You're understanding? So the second level of building is that. Third level is in the mind. Whatever I spoke from the first, become very clear in your mind. As long as we are living in the field of duality, fear is normal. Then you accept. Then you say, which are all the things which are affecting me? Make your mind prepared, like how you are preparing for an exam. Then intellectually you figure out, for my age and my kind of work I do, Maybe my spouse may need a different set of processes. I may need a different set of processes. And then what are the materials which I can read, I can intellectually understand on how to deal with it. And then comes the fifth understanding is your spiritual understanding that we are all family. So it starts from that Vasudeva Kudumbakam. And you are approaching from the devotion perspective, you can remind yourself of Devi Suktam, which says, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu. Hey, divine, you are in the form of everywhere. Then if the divine is in the form of everywhere, what is that I should be afraid of? So you tell the divine, please help me to unblock this understanding of what is seeing me, making me not see you in everything. If everything is you, then in essence, I am also you. So what is that stopping? Kindly guide me. When you open out with that acceptance, without our knowledge, grace will flow. So to again come back, you need to do some physical activities because all these years you have accumulated so many phobias and fears. They're actually impacting your body. When you have so much fear, in another name, it is called stress. It will hit your pancreas. When you have so much anger, which is another form of fear that people are not respecting me, it is going to hit your liver. Are you understanding the point I'm coming from? It's a completely holistic point wherein just by understanding and attending a workshop on fear, you cannot manage fear. So this conceptually, you should know you are made up of all these 5 elements, which in Vedanta calls the Panchakosha. So what am I going to do to manage my physical level preparedness? So what they say, in the time of war, be prepared for peace. At the time of peace, you prepare for war. When right now you don't have any fear, right now you don't have phobia, the room is well lit, you have all the gadgets with you to do. If you start using WhatsApp and FB without doing investment on yourself, you are to be blamed. Because intellectually you are clear, fear is my problem, but you have not taken a single step towards that. So what are the physical things I can do to make me much better? Then the emotions are immediately exhibited in your prana and the breath. So even when I'm having a right emotion, not 24 hours a day, you are having some stress or pressure. No, that is self-inflicted. Nobody is around you, still you are stressed, then you have to think something else. So what processes I can do to build up my, physically it is appearing my lung capacity, but actually it is much deeper. When you do pranayama exercises deeper, you will actually get in touch with prana. Right now, we are only working with our swasa, which is breath. Prana is a deeper aspect of breath. So from that shallow breathing, when I know this is going to happen and is repeated, okay, this person, whenever I see this person, I am anyway getting agitated. What is stopping you from quietly adopting a mudra and consciously breathing deep? Because you have done your study, no? The situation this person is going to do. So when you take these baby steps towards resolving, the cosmos will take giant steps towards you. Is it okay? So these are the things which we have to actually do. So first, if you want to go to the traditional way of doing it, understand Icha Shakti is important, Jnana Shakti is important, then Kriya Shakti is important. In English, you want to understand, first accept the things, the fears, understand, work with them, and then manage it. And you be very clear, till we are a realized soul, fear is part of our life like breathing. That is why when the mind is managed, they enter into cessation of breath because there is no thoughts. Without thought, there cannot be fear. So the yogis and the jnanis, their breathing pattern itself will be very long. Because naturally, by practices and understanding, they have stabilized the way the mind works. Is it okay? So this is in a nutshell, we can actually work with the things. Okay. And there's a brilliant point made by Hari Krishnan ji. This Mother Maya can only be handled by surrendering to her. So we call her Mahamaya. I understand it is very difficult for me to see what is the reality, but please bless me and allow grace to flow. Because when in Lalita Sahasranama, it is very clear, the mother is doing 5 types of work. We saw in one of the session. Creation, sustenance and dissolution, all of us know. The fourth one is Mother Maya. It deludes us. If I have this much in my bank, I will feel safe. If I have 4 dresses extra, I will feel safe. If I get promotion, I will be safe. If I understand this, I will feel safe. So that is called the Mother Maya working. So when we understand by doing, I am not going to get any relief, but by understanding that which doing is going to give me relief and which being is going to give me relief, once you practice this Om and all these concepts, you will start tapping grace. And without grace, nothing works in the cosmos. So that is why the point made by Hari Krishnan ji is very important. We need to understand that you can't confront delusion. You need to surrender to her. The only way you can surrender is shifting the mind, seeing her as a negative force, you see her as a mother. So Mahamaya, yeah, I understand it's a great illusion. And that is why the birth and death is happening. And the final thing I would like to tell you is, don't have a moving goal in life to make you happy. That is the great source of fear. Don't keep changing your goalposts. This is a very practical way to handle it. Okay. So, Ashish ji has asked any specific mantra to invoke Mother Goddess. We can straight away do the first name from Lalita Sahasranama, Om Shri Matre Namaha, in all situations. Because it is the same mother. When you are asking for knowledge, she is manifesting as Saraswati. When you are asking for protection, manifests as Durga. When you're asking for how can I go towards my goal in life, she manifests as Lakshmi. The same way, when you have a friend, you can see him as a cricketer, your friend or buddy or whatever it is. The role depends on what you are expecting from that person. So the easiest way, uncomplicated way is holding on to the mother and telling her, I have this. And even Mother Maya is another manifestation. Kindly deliver me from this grip of fear, which is engulfing me. Okay. And then you need to be completely, when I say devoted, it is not because I have a problem, so I will show devotion, I'll go to temple. That is pure transactional. That bhakti will not last long. What you do when everything is normal, no, that makes who you are. For example, if nobody is seeing you, you are still able to be kind with someone. So you are sowing seed of kindness. Not because to show in Instagram, you gave 20 rupees to somebody, you put a post, you show you are this. Despite everything, are you able to practice a value? So that is very important. Yes, Richa?
Krishna, you mentioned somewhere in the talk that when you face, you can, you get disturbed facing somebody, you can adopt a mudra. Is there any specific mudra that can be adopted and,
Basic,
allow?
this mudra is enough. Chin
Oh,
mudra is very much enough. Let's not complicate also. Just this, the reason is you have energy in the body. These are called psychic locks. That is why even when you're sitting for a small meditation, if you're losing awareness, this lock will open. You'll fall front and it will open. When you are aware, you can hold. Simple. The circuit is closed. Very, very simple way to do it. And overnight, nothing is going to happen. I keep telling you, overnight, maybe if you are alive, you will see sunrise. Everything is probability in life. We have taken for granted we are going to wake up tomorrow. So the only guarantee is if you are awake, okay, 8 o'clock you can see. You are alive. So many things, probability we have taken for granted because that is repeating. Oh, today I woke up, tomorrow also I am going to wake up. We have made an assumption, no? So please be very careful about those assumptions. Yes, Balakrishna ji.
Namaskaram, Krishna ji.
Namaskar.
So apart from in addition to this pranayams and mudra, so is there any specific food that we need to follow? Food related things. Food.
That your Ayurveda doctor or a dietitian will be able to tell you. That is a good question because they have clearly found out indigested food also can create nightmare. It is not because you are afraid of something can create nightmare. In your swapna state, this dream state, if your food taken is not ingested well and digested in your body, that also could create a nightmare or an unknown fear. So the best is consult a professional dietitian or a doctor to understand what suits you at which stage of life you are.
Sure. Thank you. So one more question, Krishna ji.
Yeah.
So when we are talking about the fear, so it could be fear. The reason could be anything. It's not specific to particular reason, is it? Like whatever we are talking about.
Sometimes
It's
we
a
can
very
have unknown fear also.
okay.
The thing is, the walk towards fearlessness, I'm not telling absolute fearlessness, will only start being practical when you accept I have an unknown fear. First is acceptance. That is why when you keep intellectualizing everything, it will not help. It will actually create more stress. You have to write down properly. These situations are creating fear. These people are creating fear. These things are creating fear. Is it imaginary? Is it real? Okay, this person is creating fear. For somebody, one phone call is enough. Maybe you are afraid. So that's why I said shyness, insecurity, inability to talk. These are all various masks the fear is wearing. And second is to have a clear understanding. As long as we do not have Advaita Anubhava, fear is normal. First, we have to reconcile that. As I told you, being courageous is nothing but you are masking fear. That's it.
So we need to do journaling. Like we need to journal whatever.
Again, it is independent. See, some people are visual, they can doodle. Some people can write. Some people can record their own things. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll take one more question. I have another Indian Yoga Association meeting at 8 o'clock. I need to log off. We'll take one more question. Vijay Lakshmi, you have raised your hands.
Sir, mine is not a question, but rather a request.
Hmm.
So you mentioned that don't keep on changing your goalpost. I want a deeper understanding of that. Maybe you can take another session on that.
That is a different topic, but you have identified changing goalposts is creating tension, no? So you will yourself figure it out. I'm trying to give you the areas which can be the source of fear. Correct, no? You
Yeah.
have to ask, what is making me to change this goalpost? Then you will get one more reason. So why is that? So you have to start digging deep within yourself. If you use the Japanese method, no, 5 times you ask why to a fear, it will take you to the root and solve it off. It's called the 5 why concept. You can try all these techniques, but all this comes under knowledge. And when knowledge can become fruitful to you is when you accept there is a problem. When you deny there is a problem, you will never understand. That understanding only will be intellectual level. You will guide people, you will lecture people, but you can't practice it. And my very purpose of even writing today in LinkedIn is to tell many people started to message about it. I have my own fears. I am not a realized master. And I dealt with the fear which was troubling me the most. I felt I have overcome it. Then only this session we accepted. Okay. This is one. Second is I want to actually officially thank Soumya who is here, who coined that word yoga of Abhayam. Okay, that is, I want to thank her for that. So great team. Even if you have questions, I can't do anything. We are going to run some batches and share with you some processes. There is no fees for all this stuff because I don't believe in reaping in somebody's pain. That is never tradition is allowed. So we will announce some batches and then we will take this into practice. Whatever we listen today, we'll practice it for a few days and see. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks, Lakshan, for hosting. I'll have to log out now. Thanks.
Yeah, I've put up your number on the chat. They can reach out to you on WhatsApp or via call or whatever. You can, give them more details about the program.
We'll do that. We'll do that. Thanks, all of you. Take care.
Yeah, thanks for coming,
Thank you,
guys.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshan.
Thank you.